Today is the February 18th, 2015. Last week we started about rootless consciousness 18th. So a few weeks ago we started about unwholesome consciousness 12. So we already studied consciousness 30th. So what today is we will study about the sensual spheres, wholesome consciousness 8. So we should know our mind, our consciousness. And we study about unwholesome consciousness. So we need to change our minds from unwholesome consciousness to wholesome consciousness. Regarding about wholesome consciousness, we classify as 8 consciousness. Will you be able to memorize unwholesome consciousness rooted in greed? 8, right? For a sensual spheres, wholesome consciousness is very easy. Only one word different. Right? Only one word different. So here's the first one, with pleasure, with knowledge, unprompted. See that, right? When we study about unwholesome consciousness rooted in greed, with wrong view, right? Now with knowledge. Only one word different. So very easy to remember. So we study, because I don't want to go in detail regarding about this consciousness, because I would like to proceed to the law of causal relations, object, condition, aroma, appeal, and so on. So I just go roughly so that all of you know how many classes of consciousness we have. Here, when we do some generosity, you observe this 5 precepts, 8 precepts, 10 precepts, 227 precepts as morality. Some you practice tranquility meditation, some insight vipassana meditation. Some you do some voluntary work, service. Some may pay homage to the Buddha doctrines, the Buddha holy disciple, and so on. At that moment, what type of consciousness arises your mind? You should know that. So, whatever we do, it's good deed, good speech, and good thought. At that moment, one of these 8 sensual sphere wholesome consciousness arises. So we need to take example to understand the meaning of this the 8 type of consciousness. This is the first consciousness here, with pleasure, with knowledge, and unprompted. So for example, you come to the temple, you offer breakfast, lunch, or some things to the monk. At that moment, you feel pleasant, feeling, this means with pleasure. This your mind accompanied with pleasure. And with knowledge, you understand as though this kind of generosity makes offering is the good thing to do. Is the good karma. As you do the good karma, so you receive the good consequences. You know the karma and its result. This means connected with knowledge and unprompted. Without prompted by anyone, it's from your heart. You do it the right way. So without induced by anyone. So this power of consciousness with pleasure, with knowledge, and unprompted. This is the best one. The best one. See that? Because you are very happy about what are you doing. You know it's the good thing to do. You receive the good stuff. And from your heart, Louis at once. No one forces you. See that, right? It's the number one. If you do this number one, what you're going to receive is talking about later. So you will receive the first one, the best one, after the self. So number two, with this accompanied with pleasure, associated with knowledge, prompt. See that? Prompt. What's meant prompted here? So you do generosity, you feel very happy with pleasure. And with knowledge, you know it's the good thing to do, this generosity, because we received the good stuff. But he is being prompted by others, maybe your friend suggests you, explain to you many times to do this good thing, and then you do it. It's called prompted. Understand, right? So the degrees, the quality is a little lower. See that? So that's number two. Number two. How about number three? Accompanied with pleasure. Associated, it is without knowledge. See? Without knowledge. You're not understanding the karma, the results of the karma, but unprompted. Unprompted. This means, so that's why we need to take some example. Like someone, mostly is the kid, he come to the temple. When they come to the temple, as soon as they come to the temple, they just bow 3 times without telling them. This what's mean? Unprompted, right? Unprompted. Do they know the karma or this the self karma? Does they know about? They don't know about that, right? This means without knowledge. Look at their face, they smile, they're happy, right? That's why just with pleasure, without knowledge, unprompted. So when we do some generosity, for example, you go somewhere, you see homeless people. back when you see it, just take money from your pocket, give it to them. You will be happy about that with pleasure. But you don't think about the karma. Without knowing the karma and its result. You do it right away, unprompted. See that, right? Step number 3. For number 4, with pleasure, without knowledge, and prompt. Wise men. As kids come to the temple, as soon as they get in the temple, they're very happy. They're very happy. And then their parents force them, hold their head, they bow 1 term, 2 term, 3 terms, something like that. So this is what number? Number 4, right? With pleasure, without knowledge, and prompt. Do they get married? Yes, of course. But it's low, right? Number 4. Or number 5, with indifference. So with knowledge, it's unprompted. You do something, maybe generosity, maybe you pay homage to the Buddha and so on. How you feel? This neutral feeling. So with indifference. But you know, oh, we should do that. So our Buddha, as our great teachers, that's why we pay homage to the Buddha. So we pay second times to the Buddha doctrines as sleeping Buddha. Because we get knowledge from the Buddha doctrines. This would be homage to the Dharma, the Buddha doctrine. So we pay homage to the Buddha holy disciple. Because since the time of the Buddha, until now, 2,600 years, from one generation to another, carry on the Buddha's teaching, teach people to understand the truth. That's why we pay homage to the Buddha's holy disciple. So we know that all is the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, so-called this triple gem. You understand their value. Start with knowledge, right? You pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, understand with knowledge. As you pay respect to who respect is due, you will see the good consequences. Say humbly, respectfully, prostrate, pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. At that moment, say, your mind always is the one I should do. As I humbly pay respect to, I will receive good consequences. So with knowledge. So unprompted, no one forces you to do that from your heart. You do. This number 5, see that? It's very powerful too, right? With indifference, with knowledge, unprompted. And number 6, this is the nature of, this is the conscious number 6, with indifference, with knowledge, and prompted. Maybe someone tell you, explain to you, we should do some generosity. You listen to that. And then start doing this generosity is good. It's a good thing to do. About your feeling with indifference. You know this is the good thing. You know this is the good karma. Will produce the good result. This means with knowledge, but prompted. Being prompted by others, your friend, your parents. suggest you to do that. And you make decision, do some kind of generosity. This number 6, with indifference, with knowledge, and prompting. So after we know this nature, so you can examine yourself. So every moment when you do the good thing, when you say the good word, think about, have good thought. So one of those. So as you know yourself, know your mind, you will know someone thought, someone mind too. So it's good to know that. So number 7, with indifference, without knowledge, unprompted. Like some kid come to the temple, for example, right? So a lot of examples take here. So kid come to the temple. So with indifference, they are not happy about that. Without knowledge, they don't know, oh, we bow to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. They don't know it's good karma. So without knowledge. So unprompted, they just do it right away, they get used to. See that? They get used to. At home, they do it every day. We go to temple, they do it right away without being induced by someone. They just do it. But how do you feel? With indifference, without knowledge. So the last one, number 8. With indifference, without knowledge, and prompting. For example, you go somewhere, your friends just tell you, explain to you, ask you to do some generosity, helping homeless people, for example, right? How you feel? Neutral feeling, just bit indifferent. You don't know, is that the good thing to do? Is the good karma? We produce good stuff without knowledge. But someone suggests you, force you to do that, and then finally you make decision, okay, do something. See, with indifference, without knowledge, prompted. This wholesome consciousness too, but the lowest one. As lowest one, when it's produced itself, get itself, the lowest one too, according to the law of nature, the law of cause and effect. So we have 8 classes of this wholesome consciousness. For example, so now all of you here from the class, right? What type of consciousness? Wholesome consciousness. Are you happy or not? Happy? With pleasure. So, without knowledge or with knowledge? With knowledge, we should study. So, when we study the Buddha's teaching, as all of you know, is the right way of life. It's the art of living. See? How to live happily, peacefully, blamelessly, rightly. This is the Buddha's teaching. It's the right way of life. That's why you come to learn. You know it's the good thing to learn. We produce the good self just with knowledge. Who forced you to come here? From your heart, right? Unprompted, number 1. The best one. The best one. Therefore, someone else. For example, so what I'm talking about now, if you don't understand the meaning, what I'm talking about, without knowledge. See that? You know yourself. So you come to class, you'll feel very happy. So you know it's the good thing to learn. It's not for someone, for yourself, right? For liberation. So Our ultimate goal of Buddhism is the liberation. To liberate it from mental defilement. To liberate it from all kind of mystery. So with knowledge, if someone suggests you, try to explain to you many, many times, and you think about it, finally, okay, I'm going to try. If you come and try, prompted, it's not unprompted. Right? Number two, you know yourself. Number two, and so on. So a lot of example we can take here. Let someone come to temple, observes 8 precepts, and practice meditation. Some a few days, some maybe just 1 hour. Now during meditation section, 9 to 10 a.m., 2 to 3 p.m., or 5 to 6 p.m. So when you come here, just examine your mind. What number you will know yourself, with pleasure, or with indifference, or with knowledge, or without knowledge, or unprompted, or prompted. Some, you come to the temple by being prompted by someone else. You should go and try. Go and learn. Go and practice. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Later on, finally, you make decision to go to the temple. So you can check your mind, right? So you do some generosity, same thing. So everyone want to gain the good food, the good sauce. Everyone want it, right? Want the best one. If you want the best one, you should have the best one of consciousness. Just with pleasure, with knowledge, and prompting. So when we understand it about that, you can change your mind. See that? From indifference to pleasure. From without knowledge to knowledge. From prompted to unprompted. See? So every day, since you get up in the morning, so we already started about unwholesome consciousness 12. So wholesome consciousness 8. The number is different, right? Unwholesome consciousness, the number is bigger than wholesome consciousness. That's why it arises a lot. It's without awareness. That's why we need to practice meditation to get used to be aware of every physical, mental activities. What happened to your thought, your mind, your body, your feeling, your sensation, your emotion should be aware of it. Otherwise, greed, anger, delusion arise. So we study about that. Even the greed, anger, delusion, and so on rise, know it right away. Change to wholesome consciousness. Mind is so powerful. As all of you know, 1 second can be right and disappear thousands of billions times. That's why we need very powerful. We need to control it. We need to tame it, culture it. That's why meditation becomes mental culture. It's to culture our mind, to tame our mind, And then you will proud of yourself. As we already started about, you listen to music, happy about that. Yourself. It's great, right? So you don't like someone or something. It's anger to do something. It's not supposed to arise like that. So you should have wise attention, proper attention. You need to change from unwholesome consciousness to be a wholesome consciousness. So when you practice meditation, for example, you practice meditation, at that moment, what type of consciousness will arise? Sometimes maybe with knowledge, sometimes without knowledge, sometimes maybe unprompted, maybe prompted, maybe with different or disturbed pleasure or with indifference. You know yourself, you know your mind, changing one after another. So it's good to know that. So when you practice meditation, you gain concentration, you see. Practice meditation, maybe focus on your breath in and out, or focus on your abdominal movement, rising and falling. So I'll be able to practice meditation. It's no greed, no anger, no illusion. You feel very happy, just with pleasure. As with pleasure, you know that with knowledge, you see that this mind and body is arising in the spirit. You see that this with knowledge. So you know it right away without thinking about that. You notice every moment, every noting. You notice mind and body arise in the spirit. So become number one with pleasure, with knowledge, and unprompted. So to be able to know this about the nature of this mind and body, you have to think about what you study, what you hear about someone else. Finally, you know the meaning. Something like that is to become prompted, right? So you practice meditation, you don't know anything without knowledge. So mainly here, whatever you do, the good thing, you say the good word, you have a good thought, one of is a sensual sphere, wholesome consciousness will arise. Now you already know which one is the best, right? 1 and 2, 5 and 6, it's good, right? Mainly here, pleasure or indifferent, it doesn't matter. It's not important too much. Mainly here, with knowledge and without knowledge. That's why we have to study. As we study, as we know, put into practice. Right? So, I hope all of you already understand what he's talking about, right? So, 8 types of this wholesome consciousness. So, how about the sensual sphere, resultant consciousness? 8. The same. Their nature the same. So with pleasure, with knowledge, unprompted. So that's why sensual sphere, resultant consciousness, 8. When it's going to arise, you should know that too. When it's going to arise, if you do some generosity, some morality, meditation, is number 1. When we give to the self, we give to us number 1. number one. So if you do the good thing, right? Number two, we give this up. Number two, sensual sphere resultant consciousness. Right? So their nature, the name is the same. Here, I would already to know this the sensual sphere resultant consciousness, they have their functions. So mainly we call relinquishing consciousness or rebirth consciousness. After you die, we have to take conception, right? It's our mother womb. It's the initial consciousness, we call rebirth consciousness. If your rebirth consciousness is associated with knowledge, wisdom, this person in this life, you will be able to gain jhana absorption. You will be able to gain enlightenment, becomes noble person. Please remember, if your rebirth consciousness associates with the good root, you remember root, right? Good root is meant in Pali, alopa, non-greed, adosa, non-anger, amoha, non-delusions. So, when you do the good thing, this consciousness associated with this good root, when you give to the self, your rebirth consciousness will associate with three good root. So you'll be able to practice meditation and becomes noble person, even though you can become an arhat. See that? If your rebirth consciousness without knowledge for this life, even you try hard to practice meditation, will be 100 years, you will not have opportunities to gain enlightenment because you're linking consciousness, rebirth consciousness, without knowledge. See that? That's why when we understand this point, what we have to do, we do something should be, associated with the good root. For example, you come to the temple, you offer something. See, your belonging, this hard-earned money, now you're not attached to your belonging. You offer to someone, you give to someone, you share with someone. This means non-greed. See that? It's guru, non-greed. In Pali we call alopa. And adosa, non-anger. Non-anger is meant loving kindness. Please remember, because adosa or non-anger, non-hatred, or loving kindness, all of these synonyms. So you start, because you give to someone, because you want to provide something for the welfare and happiness of the recipients from your heart, loving kindness, because others is good. And also, you understand, generosity is the good thing to do. See, the good thing to do. When you do some generosity, shares belongings to others, this means you make someone happy. someone will receive that, they're very happy. Even it gives the animal, they're very happy too. So you make someone happy, you will be happy too. It's the law of nature, the law of cause effect. That's why in our lives, we're not supposed to have, selfishness. So it should be selflessness. So what you can do, the welfare and happiness of others, buy some material thing, or use your physical energy, use your mental energy, use your wisdom, use your ability, help someone to be happy, to prosperous, successful. See that? So you understand this, so if someone's happy, I'll be happy too. I receive the good consequences. This means what? Road. Moha, non-delusion. See that? Non-delusion, wisdom. So you do some generosity, your consciousness accompanies with that good road, non-greed, non-delusion or loving kindness, and non-delusion or wisdom. So please remember, whatever you do, just examine your mind. Mostly when we do something, the two rules always appear. Please remember, two rules, non-greed, non-delusion. But mainly here, what we need to add, non-delusion, wisdom. If three root combined with three root, your consciousness becomes powerful. As it becomes powerful, when you give to the self, you see good self. So your linking consciousness is the harmony with the wisdom since you was young. Some kid were smart, very cute, right? Because they are rebirth consciousness connected with the wisdom. So when you learn, very easy to understand. And when you practice meditation, very easy to gain concentration and wisdom. That's why this person be able to gain jhana of absorption, gains enlightenment, becomes noble person. So everyone want it, right? So please remember, whatever you do, you say, you think about, should be three rules accompanied with this your consciousness. So for the sensual sphere, the seven conscious state, just briefly understand as I explain now. And sensual sphere functional consciousness 8. For this functional consciousness is not for all of us, for Arahant only, please remember. Arahant is mean who gained the first state of sainthood, becomes Arahant. So we already know that when we practice meditation, before we gain enlightenment, in Pali term we call Udujana. In English we call worldling or ordinary person. When you practice meditation, you gain the first stage of enlightenment. This becomes stream entry. And then, continue to practice meditation, you will gain second stage of enlightenment. We call one return. And procedure, practice, you will get the state of enlightenment, become non-return. If you practice meditation, you gain the first state of enlightenment, you become Arahant. When you become Arahant, they will not attach to anything, anyone. Please remember, they will not attach to anything, anyone. They will not expect. They do good thing. They say the good word, they have good thought. They will not respect any rewards. As they do not attach to anything, they don't expect anything. Whatever they do, their consciousness, instead of wholesome consciousness, become functional consciousness. That's what for Arahant only. So sensual sphere, functional consciousness, just for Arahant only. So now we study sensual sphere, wholesome consciousness 8, sensual sphere, resultant consciousness 8, and sensual sphere, functional consciousness 8. Are you get it? 24. Right? 24. You think about, even though we have 89 types of consciousness, even on gain jhana, you will not gain just the form sphere consciousness, and so on. So, here, for the functional consciousness for on, you cannot get it. When we study rootless consciousness, the last one, small producing consciousness 1, right? So, small producing consciousness 1 and functional consciousness 8 become 9, right? 9 deduct from how many one we have? Already study 54, right? 54. You can guess for functional consciousness 9 become 45. See that? Only 45 can arise for all of us. Even though we have briefly 89, broadly 121 type of consciousness in our daily life, what can be experienced just only 45 type of consciousness. Okay? So every day, some wholesome consciousness, some unwholesome consciousness, some resultant consciousness, what I studied last week, right? You see a desirable object, this is the result of the wholesome deed that you have done in the past, right? And so on. So some you see the good thing, hear the good sound, and so on. Some you see undesirable object, you hear undesirable sound, and so on. So depend on what we have done in the previous life, we have to receive that. So every day, so you can guess your mind, right? Wholesome or unwholesome, or the subconsciousness, what are they? Exactly, you can know that. So, regarding about form sphere consciousness, if we talk about that, so we need some explanation. I think maybe next week we start about it. It's better, I think. Now for today, we just study about this 54 type of consciousness. It's very important for all of us to understand it. when we practice meditation, you see something. Mostly with I see it. See it? I see it. I hear it. I see with my eye. I hear with my ear. So we used to say that. It's not right. According to this realities, who see that? I consciousness see that. It's not you. It's not man, not woman. So when we practice meditation, see it all. Seeing is the seeing. We see something. It's not you. It's not I. Who see that? I consciousness see that. So in reality, we should know that. And when we're going to see it all the time, when the object appears, see it. When the object disappears, no seeing consciousness. So you know, because of the cause. When we have the cause, we have the effect. So no cause, no effect. So every moment, this object rises and disappears. As the object rises and disappears, the consciousness, the same consciousness arises and disappears too. So we know their nature as impermanent. See that? That we should know their nature. It's no form, no shape. Right? No form, no shape. Just realities, just nature. So this is what our meditation practice. When you practice meditation, it usually has all this. For example, you sit meditation, you hear something, maybe you don't like that, you get angry about that. So become unwholesome consciousness. So when you know their nature, you see, you hear about something, just hear it. Be aware of that. And then it's gone. So no anger. So when you see their nature, who see that, who know that? Wisdom. Wisdom. How you feel? Maybe with indifference. Right? With indifference. And with knowledge, you say, oh, arising and disappearing. And unprompted or prompted. So depend. One of say, wholesome consciousness arise. See that? So whenever you see, you hear, you smell, you taste, you touch, you think about something, good or bad, it doesn't matter. When you know these realities, you'll be able to be aware of all kinds of these objects. It's no end, no delusion arise. No room for mental defilement to arise. That's why the Buddha suggests us. We need to study. We call in Pali, pariyati, study, learning. And patipati. As you learn, as you know, put into practice. We call patipati. And then pativeda. You will understand the meaning and you will gain the good self. It's liberation. So that's what all of you, as you study wholesome consciousness, unwholesome consciousness, and so on, so be able to understand all this consciousness as realities, not as person, no form, no shape, just nature. As when you study about consciousness, this awareness of an object. See that? Our minds knowing objects all the time. Even if you fall asleep, we'll study later because it's like continuums. Just take the object. So as soon as you wake up, your mind takes the object. So the nature of the tendency of this conscious mind is knowing the objects all the time. This is their nature. That's why, as already know, we aim to practice and to gain wholesome consciousness. As you gain wholesome consciousness, we are able to see the good consequences, especially to gain enlightenment in this very life. Thank you for the night. Okay, now question. Welcome, Lisa.
Sure. In regards to with the wholesome consciousness, and you talk about being with indifference. Let's say I come to the temple
Yes.
and I bring an offering of food, but I'm thinking about an argument I've had with my husband, and so I'm angry at him. I come here and I'm not, I'm not. I might be him, I'm not indifferent because I'm still angry at him, or my thoughts are focused on something else. Does that make the action still wholesome?
Yes. This mind, wholesome consciousness, unwholesome consciousness can arise together at the same time. So when you have an argument at that moment, it's unwholesome consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
When you do something good, this moment, wholesome consciousness, different.
Okay, so even if I'm giving you something as I'm cursing him out in my mind, that's still wholesome.
So mind is so fast, So wholesome, unwholesome, wholesome.
Okay, so in that moment when I'm happy, when I'm giving it to
Yes.
you, that consciousness, that
Yes.
okay, that
So
doser is gone.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question. Clarification from the last week.
Yes.
You mentioned that vijnana, the consciousness, chitta,
Yes.
or the mind, the
Yeah.
same as vijnana.
Yes, correct.
It appears to me that did Buddha mention like vijnana and the mind intermittently in different places, but it means the same thing.
No, not to replace the synonym.
Synonym.
Yes, synonym. Vijnana, our mind, our consciousness, the synonym.
So when you say lobha, vijnana, or a lobha,
no, lobha is the mental state, mental factors. Lobha is mental factor. That's why we call unwholesome consciousness rooted in lobha. See that? Because lobha is mental factor, they influence the consciousness. So our mind, our consciousness is the luminous, it's bright and clear, but this the lobha, dosa, more these mental factors come and influence the mind and become lobha citta. If dosa, anger, this is the mental factors, the influence mind become dosa. So they influence the consciousness. So please remember lobha, dosa, moha, and so on is mental factor. We will study later. So that's why I will finish this consciousness roughly, and we go to mental factors. Very interesting. After that, we go to the rupa matter, 28 types of matters. After we know the consciousness, the mental factors, and matter, and then we go our mind class, right? This is the law of consideration. We just only finish only hetu paccaya, only root consciousness, which go aramana paccaya. Because later on we study manodhatu, manojnana dhatu, and so on. So that's why we need to study in advance. And then later on we know what it's talking about, what consciousness.
So if I understand like this consciousness as vijnana in here, is that okay?
No, yes, vijnana. This we call jakku vijnana. We already studied about that. Jakku, eye consciousness, you see? Eye jakku vijnana.
It's not in a sense mind, it's just I have to understand as a vijnana here.
Yes, Vijnana is the, when you say mind, please remember consciousness and mental factors combined together become mind. Because inseparable, please remember, consciousness cannot arise independently. Mental factor cannot arise independently. They have to combine together, arise together. That's what we call mind. Whenever you see mind, this means consciousness as mental factors.
Mind combined between Citta, Citta.
Yes, the citta is the consciousness, cetasika is mental factors. This the mind and this consciousness as mental factors, this combination of these two we call mind.
So which one is more powerful?
Oh,
Consciousness or
they arise together, they arise together as I mentioned right now. For the mind, so because the mental factor, they influence the consciousness. That's why, if you compare with the consciousness, like the very clear, very pure water. Mental factors, greed, anger, delusion, and so on, is like some mixed color. For example, you have some powder or some color, or maybe red inks, for example, put into the water. How come? The water become red color, right? Is the one who says the white color, waters become white color. So mental factors influence the consciousness. So we will study it later. We call it 52 mental state. So we already happens to in our mind every day. So we just don't know the name, their nature. That's why we study Abhidhamma, the Buddhist philosophy. We study about our mind. So we have the mental factors, always associated with wholesome consciousness or unwholesome consciousness, or both. So we'll study about that after we finish this consciousness. Like we talk about, this feeling or perception and so on. It's the mental state. It's our confidence, faith, this consciousness, our wisdom, our loving kindness, our compassion, and so on. It's mental. The name of mental factors.
so mental factor means
In-
Cetasika?
Yes, cetasika. So they translate as cetasika, mental factor, or mental state, mental concomitant, mental association, mental qualities. A lot of translation, because some Pali cetasika is the almost no equivalent English translation. The some we have to use in Pali language the best. For example, metta, loving kindness, love, right? See that? So no word to translate the metta, this Pali language, no equivalent English term. That's why metta is better. That's why cetasika, some is translated mental factor, mental state, mental concomitant, mental associate. Some is mental qualities. See that? So don't worry about that. We study about that. I explain to all of you what is the meaning, and then you will know that.
So, Bhante, for the vijnana, it's consciousness is the closest we can associate in English terms?
Yes. The one we use is the closest translation. Like Vedana. volition and so on, activities, same word activity. So no equivalent English term. So we use the closest term. Because the Pali language, since the time of the Buddha, 2,600 years ago, the term they used it, right? Okay, anyone have any question?
Alobadosha moha really akusala or akusala moon.
Yes, that's the Aloba Adasama is the mental state. This consciousness rooted in greed, we call Loba Mula Chitta. This consciousness rooted in Loba. That's why we call in Pali Loba Mula. Mula is in the root.
I have a question with the sensuous sphere, wholesome consciousness. I thought with indifference, with knowledge unprompted, is the best because there's no attachment. When you say pleasure,
Not attachment. Just with pleasure, it's not about the unwholesome consciousness rooted in loba, right? Rooted in greed. Here, do something with pleasure. We're very happy. The number one is the best.
No attachment there.
Yes, the best. No attachment. You see, as if it's non-attachment, aloba. See that? Good root.
I didn't understand this sensuous sphere. What it
Okay, sensual spheres mean I will give you study according to this the cosmology of Buddhism. We have 31 plane of existence. I will give to that. You want right now? I give you to all of you right now. I have that. The 31 plane existence. Sensual spheres mean we have the something called sense sphere. Sense sphere. That's we have the woeful state 4. You know the woeful state, right? 4, and human world, and celestial world. Celestial sphere, 6 level. So 11 display because sensual sphere. So this consciousness can experience in the sensual sphere mostly. So sensual spheres mean in Pali we call Kama Bhumi. In Pali language. Or Kama Vichara Bhumi. Who live in this sensual sphere, mostly we enjoy this, sense spheres or sense objects. The sense spheres. And then we have the form sphere, formless sphere. So I will give to all of you.
So the angels or other.
Yes, so we have
they
the
can exist.
heaven. Remember heaven, right? The 6th level heaven. They have the Ananjaro, Marajika, Dawadi, Zayama, Dusida, Nimaradi, Pranimina, Wasawadi. So they have 6th level. And human world 1 to 7. We have Sugati, Kama, Sugati. So sense sphere. Good sense sphere. For a hell. And animal kingdom. A good sphere. Demon sphere. Just 4 because unwholesome. This because the woeful state. the state of mystery, right? So 4, human world 1, celestial 6, altogether 11. This was sensual sphere. This consciousness mostly this appears, this sensual sphere.
Patipada means practicing.
Pardon?
Patipada.
Patipati, yeah, practice. Yeah, pariyati, patipati, pativeda. Pariyati, learning. Patipati, as you learn, as you know, put into practice. Pativeda, you will gain enlightenment. Any questions?
What is the meaning of the functional?
Co-functionalism in Pali Kriya, just doing that will not produce any results. The rest are Arhan, they do the good thing, but their, their consciousness will not produce because reproductive force will not produce rebirth. No rebirth for Arhan. That's why their consciousness become functional conscious, just function, just doing, just. As I would like to know, or you know, if you're interested about the class, so I would like to know your name, your phone number, maybe sometime in case I have to cancel the class, so I can call all of you. So I need all of your name. Piece of paper. Okay. Okay. So a lot of things to learn. A lot of things to learn. So when you go to Aramana Bhaja, very interesting. A lot of things to learn, Now it's just to build a foundation. Lay out the foundation first. And then we can go faster, right? Thank you for your interest, for coming. So whenever you have question, you want to ask something, just write it down on a paper, or maybe you go somewhere, you see, you hear something, you want to know, okay, write it down. Maybe you read a book, you want to know something, write it down. Maybe you sit meditation, you want to know something, and write it down. When you come here, you can ask the question, so I can explain to all of you, answer this question to all of you. As much as I understand, I know. So I know everything. As much as I know, I will impart my knowledge to everyone. This wholesome consciousness. Right? I'm very happy with pleasure. I know, impart my knowledge to everyone is good karma with knowledge. No one forced me that unprompted. Right? No more question?
Actually, I have a question.
Yes.
Which you mentioned relinking consciousness. You mentioned relinking consciousness.
Yes. Yes.
And I think for all of us, that's something we would like to through.
Yes.
And so I'm not sure I have a question because I think I know the answer to that. What can we do to improve our chances?
Yeah, rebirth consciousness. Whatever you do should be with knowledge, or with pleasure or with indifference, doesn't matter, should be with knowledge. It's with knowledge, means with wisdom. When you die, you will be born again. The first consciousness, the rebirth consciousness, relinquishing consciousness, will associate with wisdom. If your consciousness associates wisdom, next slide, you will be able to gain enlightenment. Without knowledge, you will not gain any enlightenment. That's why whatever you do, you should do with knowledge. That's why we study. See, we study, okay, whatever you do, you say, should be with knowledge. Otherwise, without knowing that, so without knowledge. So without knowledge, we give the results without knowledge too. Thus we learn to gain knowledge and put into practice, apply in our daily life.
One thing, when someone die very fast,
Yeah.
is it the relinking consciousness the same as the last thought, state of thought, last thought we call it?
No,
Or is it
no.
totally
The
different?
last thought is the dead consciousness. The last thought, the dead consciousness. Yeah. For another life, the first consciousness, rebirth consciousness.
So the rebirth one is not the same as the last thought.
No.
It's different.
No, different. Every moment, the two consciousness can arise together at the same moment, the same time. That's why after someone dies, right away, rebirth consciousness take place.
So that means no Gandharva.
No, yet Gandharva is still alive. They have Gandharva, Yaka, Gandharva. Yaka is mean giant. Gandharva is the sun, is like angel, spirit. Different name.
So there's a controversy that when someone dies, that there is a time between the birth and the death
That's-
that they spend in a state, or some kind of a state.
Yes, the Buddha said this is a wrong view.
Okay.
That's why we learn the right view. As soon as you die, that consciousness rise and disappear. Rebirth consciousness take place according to good and bad karma. Maybe the rebirth consciousness maybe take place in hell, or maybe hungry ghost, maybe demon, maybe animal, maybe human being, maybe angel, maybe drum. For Arahant, the dead consciousness arises disappearing, no rebirth consciousness, finished.
So Arhat has only Pratisangha of Chuti only.
No, this means after Chuti, dead consciousness, no more rebirth. That's why they are consciously called functional consciousness. Cannot reduce rebirth. Okay, thank you. Good night and good luck. So today is the 25th.